Hello and welcome to another LSR gaming video. I'm Louis and today I'm going to be helping you choosing your class for World of Warcraft. Okay, so we're going to just go down in order of the ones I've put here. So first of all we've got a Druid. Druids are an excellent choice for your first class in World of Warcraft. The thing with the Druid is it's kind of like a copycat class almost. It's got four main kind of forms. Forms. You got Resto spec, which is healing, basically a priest, pretty much. You've got Balance, which is more like a mage, that's DPS. And you've got Feral, which is kind of two things. That's Bear form, which is tanking like a warrior, and Cat form, which is just like a rogue, really. The thing with that's good is it kind of gives you a bit of everything. Like, they're not the best at any of them. Like, you're copying a class, so say you go in bear form, you're not going to be as good as a warrior at tanking, but it's combining things. So for example, you can go in bear form and you can tank like a warrior doing, I don't know, saying a quest. You can take all the damage, you can kill a lot of stuff, but then there's a group too big, you just cannot take it on. You can just switch to cat form and stealth around the edge like a rogue. A warrior wouldn't be able to do that. You know, so it's kind of, or you could heal yourself, you know. It's a mix of stuff, you know, which is what makes them really good. So overall, they're not the best. If there's one thing that you really want to do, like that you're focused on, I wouldn't go with the Druid. But if you're like, you know, it's your first time and you're not quite sure what you want to do, you get to try out a bit of everything with the Druid. So they're really good for that. Next, Warlocks. Here we go. Warlocks are pretty fun. They're a fun character. Most of the time they're quite a lot like mages. They got Destruction, which is very similar to a mage. They got Demonology, that's quite unique. The only thing that comes close to that is Beast Mastery, but Beast Mastery's rubbish. Respect for hunters. So if you're focused on you like pets and stuff, you get these minions. Demonology is a great spec for a Warlock. You also get Affliction, I think, and I really wouldn't go with that. It's the thing that focuses on is dot spells, damage over time spells, which they can be good, probably useful in dungeons, but for solo and quests you don't want it to die slowly. You want just something that can kill it in one go, really. So overall, fun character, but probably not one of the strongest or toughest. Next. Okay, we have a warrior. Yeah, so you got a Tauren warrior. Warriors, for some reason, are what a lot of people start off as, because they just, in a lot of games, warrior is the standard class sort of thing. Like, that's a bit of everything. It's not on World of Warcraft. And I think the problem that warriors face is, well, there's two main problems. One is the fact that they're supposed to be, what warriors are designed for is just to be out and out tanks, really. You can DPS with them, and they DPS quite well now, but what they're designed for is tanking, and the problem that they face now is the fact that, to be honest, Paladins and Death Knights make better tanks than them, so they're slightly pointless. The second problem is they're probably one of the most boring classes in World of Warcraft. I'd say for questing, anyway. The dungeons, the only useful thing is because you're a tank, you can get into dungeons like instantly. But apart from that, really, I wouldn't recommend a warrior. They're alright, but if you want a tank, Paladin. It's quite simple. Next, we have the Shaman. Those here. Shamans are fun. They're really fun. So they're another well-rounded character, like the Druid. You've got a bit of everything in them. You've got enhancement, which is weapons. It's like dual wield, and maces, stuff like that. That seems, well, I've never actually played one, but that seems really fun. You've got elemental. I have played that. That's pretty similar to a mage, to be honest. Just elemental. Does a lot of DPS. Nothing too special though. And then you got the resto spec for Shamans, which is really focused on AoE spells. So you can heal, it's great for dungeons, healing big groups. But I would probably say out of all going healing specs, it's going to be really hard to level. Well, you know, questing that, if you go healing spec, it's pretty hard to level a Shaman. So yeah, they're pretty fun. They're definitely one of the fun classes. Very good later on in raids and that for healing. Not amazing DPS. Also, they get totems, which are kind of fun. Not really any other class has much like it. The closest thing is probably the Hunter's Pets, or the Warlock's minions. So, you know, they're a very unique class, I'd say. Okay, next up we have Hunters. Again, maybe a bit of a fun class, not incredibly useful. The good thing with them for questing is the fact that they have something that can take the aggro, a lot like Warlocks, and then they can do a lot of damage. So Hunters are good choice for fun. Now we have the Priest. Priests gotta be the best healers in the game. Very good, very good all-rounders. Probably quite hard for questing and stuff. Wouldn't recommend it if you're going to be questing, but dungeons, they're amazing at healing. They've got all-round really, they can do any type of spell for healing. You got two healing specs. You got dungeon. Well, there's holy and well, I can't remember. But basically, holy is dungeon one. There's a PvP one, and then there's shadow spec, which is DPS. Not the best DPS in the game, but if you want a quest, then I'd recommend having shadow spec. Something that you don't want to do with the priest is go holy spec and whatever the PvP is. I can't remember what it's called at the moment. Because you just don't want to go with healing, you won't do any damage, it'll be really hard for quests. So you always want to go one of the healings and shadow spec as your secondary spec, or go shadow spec as your primary. But you know, up to you really what you do with the priest. They're pretty fun characters, I would say. I find healing pretty fun. You've got heal bottom stuff. So yeah, I think that's about it for priests. Next, two mages. Okay, this is my mage. This one looks a lot better only because this is the only one I've leveled. Just if you're wondering. But the thing with mages is they are amazing DPS. They're really good. Probably, I'd say, the best DPS in the game. You can do a lot of damage. Good for questing. The only problem with them is they can only wear cloth armor, like the other things. But unlike pretty much every other class, or definitely all the other ones that wear cloth armor, they have no spell which can heal themselves. So once you do, if something does get into close combat with you, you will struggle quite a lot there. Also though, being a DPS is fun, but you will have to wait a long time to get in dungeons. Okay, now, Paladins. Probably the most overpowered class in the game. Great at DPS. Probably, I would say, the best tanks in the game. If you're going to tank, go Paladin. I mean, really, as a Paladin, you can tank just as well as a warrior, and you can heal yourself pretty well. Because Paladins can be healers, DPS, or tank. But the thing with healers, I think, as well, is since when did healers wear plate? You know, these guys can wear plate armor, they can take a lot of hits and heal really well. So they're a great choice. They're probably not the best healer in the game, but you know, to have a healer that can wear plate, they're going to be the best healer for questing. Say. Now, lastly, I haven't created one yet, but we have the Death Knight. Death Knights start at level 55, so you're going to have to get a character level 55 first. They are probably second best tank in the game. They're good at tanking. They do epic damage. They're really fun. The only problem with them is when you get them to level 85, they become a bit weak compared to some of the other classes. I mean, obviously you can gear them and that, so they're not much behind. But I think, say, Paladin, which you can level to 85 from level 1, and a Death Knight, which you can start leveling from 55. Death Knights are going to start off being like the strongest at, let's say, level 60 or something, and then they're a bit worse at 85 than a lot of the other classes, but they're very fun. The starting area has got to be one of the funnest there is. Okay, and then the last class, again I haven't created one yet, I'm not sure why, is a Rogue. Rogues have, well, just PvP written all over them. If you love PvP, then go Rogue. There's nothing better than a Rogue in PvP. You can stealth. The tip for a Rogue is go with something small, either a gnome or a goblin, because they're so hard to hit then. When you're like invisible and tiny, you're really hard to spot. They do a lot of damage. Dungeons, they're quite hard to play in a dungeon, because of the fact that the tank's got to go in first and get the aggro, and you've got to like stealth behind and backstab and stuff. They're not the easiest to play, but once you get the hang of them, you will dominate in PvP, which is fun, and also they're pretty damn good at questing. So I think there you go. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing another tutorial on choosing your race soon, so watch that when it's uploaded. Please like, subscribe and comment. Goodbye.